Conditionals are another really powerful concept in computer science. Without conditionals, we literally cannot do anything, as conditionals are dependent on the idea of decisions. And decisions, as we all know, are everywhere, even in computer science, even in programming, even in software, hardware, and any other concept you can think of. Conditionals are, in essence, just a way of doing something depending on a certain condition. Hence the name conditionals. So they're just a method of taking different actions based on different conditions, different inputs, what will be called, and then you get different outputs depending on what the conditions and the inputs are. So again, conditions are basically means something's going to happen or it's not going to happen or something like that, or some action is going to occur depending on some action that already has occurred. This is very complicated maybe in language, but there's a lot of examples use conditionals literally everywhere. For example, I decide if I want to go outside based on the condition that what's the weather going to be like or what's the weather is like. If I think it's going to rain, then I might bring an umbrella. If I don't think it's going to rain, then I don't bring an umbrella. That's a classic example of a conditional because if something happens, for example, if I think it's going to rain, then I do something. If and then is a very common phrase and pattern that you see in conditionals. That's again the basic idea of conditionals is that there's a lot of inputs, which in this case would be, for example, if I think it's gonna rain or not. It can be a true or false value. It can be some measurements you can take mathematically at least, and then depending on that input, you basically get a certain output, which is either I take the umbrella or I don't. And again, that's dependent on the inputs. So that's the idea of inputs and outputs in conditionals, which is very similar to, again, kind of like algorithms. A lot of algorithms depend on conditionals because without conditionals, again, you cannot do anything because decisions are everywhere. The computer needs to know what it should do depending on, what the year is, what the date is, what the input is, what some data is. And there's so many choices. So conditionals are really powerful because of that. They're again used in everyday examples as well, but also in programming. They get involved in effectively every program. You effectively have conditionals. You also combine that with loops and a lot of other computer science concepts to create that power. So yeah, without conditionals, you cannot have anything, and their conditionals are exactly what they sound like. They depend. There's certain actions as outputs depending on certain conditions. If and then is a very common pattern for conditionals as well. If something happens, then I do this task. If not, then I do another task. And that is the basic idea of conditions.